Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Joe Fedorinchik, the head boys basketball coach at Oxford High School. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Um, what a start to the season by you guys. I mean, you're continuing the trend that the football team kind of started this year with the year that they had, and then you go right into basketball, and you guys are off to a pretty good start. What's been the biggest thing? I know you lost a few guys from the previous year, but you guys are rolling right now, including 3-0 in the division.
Yeah, it's winning has been going on a lot at our school. Our soccer team had a heck of a run. They lost in the Final Four. They were one of the top two or three teams in the state all year.
Yeah.
We have three soccer boys. Three of our top kids are soccer kids. Football obviously won the red for the first time. Had a heck of a year. Coach Line did a great job with those kids. And we got, Jake, obviously, Drew, Brody Casper, part of the football program. So cross country kids, I got a couple cross country kids on my team. They also went they qualified for the state tournament. So it's been a very fun year to follow athletics at Oxford, and we're just trying to. I remember I saw Coach Line late in his season. I'm like, man, we got to keep up. We got to keep up with you guys this year. Carry on the winning because you've set a high standard for this school year. But it's a testament to our senior class. We have phenomenal seniors. I have great seniors, and it's been a blast to start the year. We got phenomenal chemistry. Kids really like each other. They get along with each other. There's no egos. Um, I got two kids who start who, you know, they couldn't even if they didn't take a shot and we won, they would be ecstatic. And that's just it's been very fun seeing kids take on their roles and it's translated in some victories for us.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you mentioned the senior class that you have. You mentioned soccer and football. Of course, Drew Katie was part of both of those and is on the team now. And then, of course, you talk. I mean, you have to mention Jake too. Of course, Jake Champagne has the scoring record, scored the most points in Oxford boys basketball history. Got that done in the beginning of the season. I mean, I gotta ask you, just the senior, you just mentioned it, the senior class overall. What is that? What are they like to work with and to have be the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I what's crazy about these kids is just how likable they are. Like it's just I have eight seniors and they're all just phenomenal kids. And all have just embraced the role of being on the team and what the expectations are of them. We took a trip last couple years. We've kind of something that we've started is we go up to Mayo. We got a nice connection up there where we're able to stay in a home in the middle of nowhere. And man, and the chemist like it was just it does wonders for us. And as far as the seniors go, I mean, Drew Cady is just, he's one of our captains. He's a heck of a leader. He works his absolute butt off. He does all the little things needed to win, and he's what I, it's kind of made him set apart a little bit more this year. He is starting to put the ball in the hoop a little bit more. Um, He's been phenomenal defensively, just absolutely all over the glass. Loves to defend, loves to play his butt off. And then you got Nolan Mauser, who he's all-state goalie in soccer. He's a great middle infielder, and we put him on the team's best player, and he's done just an absolute phenomenal job for us this year. Both kids seniors, both kids just love their role. Nolan, like, I sent him the text about who he's going to be guarding the following game and strengths and tendencies, and he just embraces it. And I wouldn't want to play against Drew and Nolan defensively. just because of how hard they play. And even Nolan is scoring the ball a little bit more this year. I think he's averaging about 6 for us, which is perfect. It's what we need. We needed a few more points out of him. And then, our point guard is a 3-year starter on varsity, and I know he gets a little overshadowed because of Jake. But Luke Stoffin's just been absolutely just so fun to watch blossom in so far these first 8 games. Um, I think last year he had some ups and downs, and didn't shoot the ball as well as we had hoped. But this year, yeah, I guess another thing last year kind of he wasn't as good as I thought we thought he would be defensively on the ball, and then man, he played with the Wolfpack with Jake in the off season, and I think that really really transformed him defensively, and he has been so solid for us this year, so steady. He's shooting the three at about 40%, which is way up from where he was last year. And then obviously, Jake's had a special career here, and he did had a heck of a football season too, which was so awesome. I'd love to see him have the year that he had in football. He caught the game-winning touchdown against Rochester Adams, and it's just picked right up into the season. I think he's averaging around 21, 22. Um, Getting to the free throw line, pull-up jumper's been deadly. Guarding guarding off the ball this year at a much, much higher level than he did last year, which has been awesome. So those four are the four seniors who start. We got seniors who come off the bench who have done a heck of a job for us. And as I said, it's just, Jake and Luke make my job easy, having an experienced backcourt like that.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys have not played a game since the 20th, and that it's been, which of course was the big win against a really really good Troy team. What was it like? What does it say about this team? Of course, heading into these next 2 weeks, you guys don't have a game until the third, which is Friday against Lake Orion. What was it like to get a big win against that team? And then how have you kind of approached this week where there's not really a lot going on?
So, you know, we ended. It was a great win for us to end going into break. I thought we played pretty good against Troy. We didn't shoot the ball necessarily well, but we were able to really get after it on the offensive glass. That was one of our keys going into the game. We got to be relentless on the glass. I thought we had an opportunity for an advantage there. Um, and I thought they hit 11 threes to our 5 threes, and I really thought 9 of those 3s we guarded our absolute butts off. Parker and number 4, man, they're both lefties. They hit some tough shots, and so that was, I we were able to build a pretty big lead going into half. We were up 17 late in the second half. We got it up to like 16, 17 again in the third, and we just couldn't really get it past that hump, and they kept hanging around hitting big shots. I think they cut it to 9,
Yeah.
8 or 9 once. But basically we were able to maintain that 13, 14 point lead. So, um, but over break, we got a scrimmage in with Avondale, and it was awesome for us. Those guys are athletic. They get after it. Coach Jarrett does a heck of a job with that team. We went there and scrimmaged, what, 23rd, I think it was, 23rd.
Yeah.
Um, and we got late game scenarios in. We got everything that we haven't had, based on, kind of how our games have went. We got late game scenarios. We had pressure free throws. We kind of played it like a real game, and we got everything we needed to get out of that, to prepare us for Lake Orion, Farmington, all these teams moving forward, and hopefully we get the chance to play Grand Blanc again.
Yeah. Okay. So, what has this week been like? How have you kind of just kept everyone, besides the scrimmage? I know you've been up to a lot of things. Like, what was it like trying to, get through those 2 days where there's not much going on, and then, getting back at it. So how was this past week, getting through Christmas, and then really just, what have the past few days been like for this team?
Yeah, I mean, outside of Christmas Day, I mean, Christmas Eve, day after Christmas, the kids are constantly texting and saying, "When can I get in the gym to shoot?" So between myself or Coach Jacobson, my assistant coach, we're constantly opening up the gym for them, even on days when we don't have practice. We had a youth camp. Oh man, what is today? Sunday.
Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, we had youth camp, then we had practice after. We brought in some alumni yesterday. Um, and tried to get some of our better alumni as of late to play against us, and so that was nice as well. But one of the major things, like practice tomorrow morning, what we like to do, and which is very telling, the kids really like it, is I don't I've I've done this a lot more this year than I did last year, which I think has paid dividends for us. Is I've split Jake and Luke up in when we practice, and Jake doesn't like to lose, and Luke doesn't like to lose, and we have had some heck of a just battles. And then when one game ends, and I say, guys, run on, they want to go another one. Kids get into it a little bit, and it has breeded the culture that we have, and you know get into it a little bit, and at the end of the day, when practice is over, everyone loves each other. So, but that's I know Drew got interviewed after we beat Grosse Pointe North at the D zone thing, and it's one of the things Drew said was just like practices, we split the teams up and we get after it, and I think that has paid huge dividends for us.
Absolutely. So, of course, you got you got when you guys come back from of course, home against Lake Orion, and then the next three out of the next four are at home, and of course, inserted with a trip to Birmingham Seahome as well. But really, and then it's kind of like you got three out of the next four at home, and then you got three straight road games and all that stuff. But what is this? Because now we are getting into now the heart of the season, where every Tuesday and every Friday you're gonna have
Showtime.
games. So what is it like? Because this is kind of like, this is kind of the best time of the year. Everyone's kind of all over the place with games. In I can now say November, and December.
Yeah.
But now we're getting into January. What's this point of the year going to be like?
I mean, our full attention is on Lake Orion. They embarrassed us once last year. We lost a one possession game at our place to them last year, so we lost twice to them. Um, we haven't beat them in like 5 years. So dating back, I think it was we I think the last time we beat Orion was at we played at OU in
Yeah.
2020, I want to say, before
Mhm.
COVID.
Yep.
Um, so our full attention is on those guys, and we know they're tough. I actually right when I was right when I before I was jumping on, I was watching film of them. Parks is tough.
Yeah.
He's a tough cover. We'll have to figure out how we're gonna get after him. They got experienced guards. I know the big fella for them has been out, but we're preparing to see him as well. I don't think he's played yet. Maybe played one game, but Rush Low, I think. But that's our full attention. I mean, I think what's been so great about this, these kids just we're one game at a time, and I know it's tough with a 16, 17, 18-year-old brain to really get a kid to focus in on one game at a time, but it is really they have just been so laser focused every single game, including our scrimmage. Um, so like whether we're playing, in our non-league against Livonia Stevenson or we're playing against Lake Orion, our kids have brought it, but we know Lake Orion's kind of that game that um, we need to get this year.
All right. Well, Joe, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with us, and best of luck against Lake Orion. And we're looking forward to having you on later in the year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The one kid I didn't even mention, I completely forgot to mention or haven't mentioned is Brennan Elling. He's been shooting the snot out of the ball for us. He actually, that's a quick funny story for you.
Yeah.
Uh, he he had six threes about 17 minutes into our Livonia Stevenson game, and the school record is eight, which actually my brother has. And uh, we were playing at Rochester College, and he hit a three, and his feet were clearly on the college line, and it should have been a 7-3. And eventually, so he didn't get to seven. He only got to six. But I wanted to get him out of there because I wanted to get some other guys some playing time. But then all the kids gave me a hard time that I pulled them because I wanted to preserve my brother's 3-point record. So, but that was not the case. I would love to see Brennan break his record.
Okay. All right. That's a good story to end it on. Coach Fed, thank you so much for the time and best of luck against Lake Orion.
Absolutely. Thank you, Casey.